Today I'm doing some examples from Module 16, Lesson 1. I'm on page 746, and I'm going to do problems 12, 14, and 16. All right, so we've got some fractions, and we've got to get rid of these extraneous numbers out here so that we can try and solve for the variable exponent here. So you want to try to keep your numbers as simple as possible. When you're getting rid of a 2, you're going to multiply by the reciprocal or divide by 2. So I'm going to write it as multiplying by 1/2. 1/2 times 2. And then I'm going to do it on the other side. 32 over 169 times 1/2. So those cancel out on that side. And now I want to keep this simple. Since 2 goes into 32, I'm going to go ahead and simplify that. 2 goes into 32 and leaves 16. So I've got 4 over 13 to the x equals 16 over 169. If you don't see it already, you can start here with the simpler number. 4 squared is 16. So then check 13. 13 times 13 is 169. So that means 4 over 13 squared equals 16 over 169, which means x equals 2. All right, now on question 14, I have an 8 on one side and a 4 on the other. So I'm going to multiply by 1/8 on both sides because what I really want to do is get down to this x here. So it's more important that I get rid of this 8. So if I multiply 1/8 times 8, that'll cancel out and leave me with just the 2/3 x. And I'm going to write this backwards of, I don't know why I want to write a 12 there. Write this backwards of how they have it in the book. I'm going to put the 4 on this side so you can see what I'm doing. I multiplied by 1/8 here, so I have to multiply by 1/8 here. And 4 times 1/8 is 1/2. Because 4 goes into 8 2 times. So I have 2/3 to the x is 16 over 27. And I still have 1/2 left. I'm going to simplify this one again. 2 goes into 16 8 times. So now I can rewrite this as 2/3 to the x equals 8 over 27. 2 times 2 times 2 is 8, and 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. Which means 2/3 cubed is 8 over 27, so x equals 3. All right, and this last one that I'm going to do, you'll notice that this is all being multiplied by itself, and this is being multiplied by itself. So you could write it as 2/5 to the x, and then that whole thing squared. And that is 8 over 125, and that whole thing is squared. So it could cancel out the squares easily because if I take the square root on both sides, it cancels out the squares. And it leaves everything else here. So I have 2/5 to the x equals 8 over 125. Okay, and 2 times 2 times 2 is 8, and 5 times 5 times 5 is 125. So 2/5 to the third is the same thing as 8 over 125, so x is 3.